이 시리즈는 한국에 거주하는 우리 외국인 친구들의 한국 스토리를 소개합니다.
안녕하세요. 영국에서 온 혼혈 조니입니다. 현재 음식 콘텐츠 하고 있습니다.
I'm going to make syrup out of these blueberries using a method commonly used in South Korea. And you've seen me make all sorts of syrup this way, like cherry blossom, pineapple, chili, and pomegranate. And what do you know? I just happen to be in South Korea right now. My parents own a little farm which has around 200 blueberry bushes, so let's go get some blueberries.
사장님, 예, 마클리 대대폭을 하나 주시겠어요? Oh my gosh,
I
dude.
love that, like just scream. Like, Korea, that's it.
That was the big culture shock for me when
Yeah.
I first came to Korea. It was like, 저기요! It was like this
I
kind of
think-
loud shouting. It's like, whoa, someone just said, over here.
Yeah, it's the same
Whoa.
when I'm back home in England. I live near New Malden where all the restaurants are, and you've got all the English people sitting around, and you've got like the Koreans like us, and we're the ones just screaming across the restaurant for orders and stuff. But somehow it's like it just works out way better than just any regular like fancy schmancy restaurant where they
Yeah.
like write it down
Oh, man.
something, right?
So it's just like,
네,
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'll let you do the honors.
Oh god, I haven't done this in a while. You're older than me, so
잘하시네요. Thanks, bro. Take it. Let's try it, man.
love it. So good.
It just hits different, doesn't it? It's just,
You can taste the honey in there.
yeah. Okay, 잘 먹겠습니다.
잘
I'm gonna
먹겠습니다.
start on the John, this one.
This one. Oh, that smells amazing.
This is the John
Beef one? Yeah.
beef.
A little bigger than expected.
Oh, I love this kind of atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. That kimchi john is delicious.
Not bad, right?
Crunchy, but still kind of like mushy gooey. It doesn't sound that appetizing like,
Yeah.
like that. But
It just,
Mushy.
there's something about John though, isn't there? It just kind of, you dip it in the kangang and you
Oh, yeah,
and
I
have it with the
love
makgeolli and it, I don't know why, it feels right for this weather.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the thing, right? You eat john when it's raining.
I wasn't much of a foodie really until I came to Korea.
Yeah, no, same for me. Well, it wasn't until I was in Korea and then left where I was
Right.
just suddenly started realizing like I miss Korean food so much.
Sure.
Like our family house is around sort of like New Malden area, so it's not like I can't get it, but there are some things you just have to make it yourself.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I got started as well, because I really missed getnip jangachi, yeah. And so I made it during lockdown, and so I was also really bored, so I started recording it too. And I posted that on TikTok, and that's like just blew up.
That's where you started
Yeah,
with your,
literally just-
wow. What I love about the way that you articulate food, it feels very you because you kind of embody this kind of like this
Yeah.
British part of you, and then this Korean part. What would you say your relationship with Korea is?
You know, I am half Korean. In my opinion, I think it's a very sort of good balance between the two countries.
Yeah.
I've moved around a lot, but most of it was just between England and Korea,
Okay.
because with my dad's job,
Yeah.
it sometimes took him back to England, sometimes it brought him back here. I also speak the language, not completely fluently, but enough to like really get by. So I don't really feel like I am British. I also don't feel like I'm like Korean. I'm very comfortable just knowing I am half Korean, half British, this kind of thing. My relationship with Korea is just that it is home, but so is England is also home. When I'm in Korea, I feel very lively and very like, you know, I want to go out and do everything and go like, explore everywhere. When I'm back in England, I love it, but I also just feel like, you know, I just want to like just chill out, relax a bit, maybe do some some fermenting, some gardening, all that kind of stuff.
Ace.
But when I'm in Korea, it's like, you know, I want to hang out with people, and like
Yeah.
go drink a bit, like go eat a bunch.
Sure.
My relationship with Korea is it's a very fun one.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had to get like a real job here, maybe it would like really change it, my opinion on it. But right now, I'm still young, so I can still have a bit of fun. I've lived here over 10 years, like in total.
Right.
I don't think I've done this
Oh, really?
ever, really. Yeah, I mean, because my mom makes it at home sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, but like sitting here in a place like this, that was my first time seeing all that stuff lined up, and you just kind of it's like a pick and mix.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's my first time doing this as well. I'm like kind of blown away. I love it.
Yeah. How is it? You enjoying
Oh,
it?
it's delicious, yeah. I needed this. Oh yeah,
Top you up.
let me pick that up.
So on this trip, as you've been in Korea,
Mm-hmm.
kind of looking at your Instagram and kind of looking at kind of the environment that you're kind of in,
Yeah.
it looks kind of magical.
Oh, it is. Have you ever been to Gojido?
I haven't.
That's where I spent most of my time this time around. It's beautiful. It's like Jeju, but not so touristy. It's amazing. I'm coming back here ever since my parents 2 years ago got their farm and just started growing all of this. Well, actually, it kind of grows wild on their farm, but they're like actual like herbs and stuff. Like, you know, my mom like calls me over and like she's like, try this, and like she just tries to explain what it is, but really it's like, I don't know, like some farmer lady just picked it and pickled it, and it's delicious. It's amazing. And it's also sort of like made me realize like there's some things that I want to also experiment with.
Right.
The way I think is there must be a reason why Koreans haven't done it yet, and I'm sure I can find it if I try hard enough. So for me it was grape leaves, because my parents have a couple grapevines.
Okay.
And I'm thinking like, why hasn't anyone done like grape leaf jangachi and like wrap some meat in that?
Oh man, that sounds epic.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Korean food?
Yeah. It's like a dish that I consider more like a genre.
Okay.
Kalguksu, which I love because it's like you've got chicken kalguksu, you've got pork kalguksu, you've got seafood kalguksu, you've got like every type of whatever you can put in it.
Sure.
You just put in some knife cut noodles and it's amazing. Every single kalguksu I've had, like with the different specialties and stuff from whatever part of Korea, it's always been delicious. Like the one down where my parents live is just oysters. Yeah, it's amazing. I love it so much.
If you were to go back to the UK and open a restaurant,
Yeah,
a Korean restaurant,
yeah.
what would that restaurant be?
Well, I mean, in England, in London, there's like already just a couple dozen Korean barbecue restaurants. That would be kind of out the question. Because that's what I find with Korean restaurants. It's either just Korean barbecue or one of those everything restaurants.
Sure.
Oh, you know what I'd do?
Oh.
You ever been to those restaurants where they just completely like just ram the table with banchan? Like dozens and dozens of banchan, and
yeah.
you just get a bowl of rice?
Yeah.
But I think something like that, I mean, it'd be kind of challenging getting everything prepped, all the fermentation, all
Oh
the
my
pickling
gosh.
and everything. But it would definitely make like the news, I guess.
Yeah,
Or like
it
local magazines and that kind of stuff. Just because purely for like just the wow factor and the colors and everything. That'd be a really interesting one to do.
I mean, adversely, if you had to bring a British food to Korea when you had to open a restaurant here, what would you like to introduce?
Oh man. My mum has always wanted to open a carvery here,
Please,
So-
please,
right?
please.
Where you got the beef,
Oh.
the pork, the turkey, the lamb.
Oh, full-on roast dinner special kind of. Yeah.
And then at the end, you've got all the extras and the gravy.
Oh.
Honestly, I can't think of anything else that is British that would sound better than a carvery.
Yeah.
Because that is so quintessentially British. It's
Oh.
so good as well.
If you had to give 3 words to describe life, what would those be?
Fun, confusing, and unpredictable. Confusing because it's like how am I making this thing work? Like I've got followers like doing exactly what I want. Like I don't get it. It doesn't feel like I'm working. It's great, but it's like kind of confusing because I'm like, people like this as well. Like people like watching me ferment stuff, or like just mix sugar with fruit and just leaving it. Yeah, fun because it is honestly really really fun, and unpredictable because I just don't know where I'm going to be in the next month. I know where I'll be in the next 2 months, but after that, it's like I don't know. Really don't know. I don't plan that far ahead for anything. So, yeah, it's like kind of the challenge.
I think those words kind of go unpredictable and fun, kind of,
Yeah,
and sometimes confusing, can go hand in hand. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know about tomorrow.
yeah.
I've got no idea what life's going to look like.
I don't know what I'm going to do later tonight.
Yeah, right. it's the excitement to that.
Yeah.
It's like, 'cause then there's opportunity as well.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
I find that's like kind of like career though. Gives me that feeling.
yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Let's finish on a cheers. Cha.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Combe. That's so tasty.